It's Sunday Night Football. And on the call, as always, Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
And we find ourselves at the stadium that played host to Super Bowl 52, the wondrous U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. The scene a short time ago, this crowd decked out in purple, and they were in full roar as their guys burst out of the locker room. We're ready for football, folks, as the Vikings get set to do battle with the Green Bay Packers. Hi again, everyone. Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. And Charles, you look at this Vikings ball club. They come in off a loss last time out, but overall they've been playing well. 6 wins and 8 prior to that defeat. Meanwhile, for the visiting Packers, things haven't gone exactly according to plan to this point. But boy, you and I down there with them before the game, they were fired up.
And they understand how important this game is. Win this one, they can start to think about a turnaround.
Now a play fake here on first down. And Rudolph has it left side. And they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line. Those are the numbers from Rudolph from last week's game. 5 catches, 97 yards, and a touchdown.
And they think they have a matchup advantage in this one. They're going to try and find some space for him to work and make sure he touches the football.
He'll drop to throw. And complete right side to Cook. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. 12 yards there as they move the chains. Now, Charles, what's the mindset here offensively? You gave up the touchdown pretty quickly. Would it have changed if you had gotten a stop and it would be 0-0 right now, or no?
I wouldn't think so. I think in most cases, just down a touchdown, you know, I mean, we're just getting started here. It should be a long way to go. You think to yourself, stick with the game plan, all the things you worked on in practice. But you have some teams that when they get down, their natural tendency is to aggressively strike back. And let's see if they want to get outside of the game plan we expect and try and be aggressive on their first series.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. Oh, he's able to outmuscle him here as he pulls it in. A good pickup there, 26 yards. And he's top 5 in the league in terms of receiving yardage because of plays like that. What have you seen from him on film that you like so much?
Well, I'll strip away everything else and get to what we call the moment of truth. When the ball's arriving and there's a defender there, he just comes down with the ball. He competes and takes it away. Great hands, great ability to finish the catch.
And he'll find Thielen on the right side. And he's brought down, but not before reaching the 8-yard line. A very solid gain of 27. Pretty solid start for the rookie here on this first drive, Charles.
Able to have some confidence, stepping back into the pocket, move around a little bit, find open receivers, and deliver. That just means his confidence is going to continue to grow because he's getting more and more comfortable with each completed pass.
Back to throw again. In trouble, and he'll go down back at the 12. The 6-time Pro Bowler, Clay Matthews. And that'll bring up a 2nd and goal. And, Charles, part of the reason they lost last week, they didn't have a single sack. Well, they changed that quickly.
But did they ever? And it was something they talked about with us extensively. They needed to get...
And, his first carry, he loses the football. They'll give it to him up the middle. And the Packers pick it up. And he'll return it to the 24-yard line. And out now come the Vikings. And they'll be looking to atone for last time's mistake of fumbling inside the red zone. Certainly they don't want to do that again.
And so much emphasis placed on red zone offense. I mean, you have periods devoted in practice just for that, because everyone knows how vital it is to put points on the board when you've entered that part of the field. And to come away with nothing, that's difficult for a team to handle.
And difficult, and now we'll see if they can make it less difficult on themselves on this drive. They'll look to throw here on first down. Throw left side on target to Thielen. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Back to throw here. He's going to wind up and air it out. And they went for a big play through the air on 2nd down. Couldn't connect. Now it's 3rd.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice, getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
They'll look to throw. And he's able to find Diggs. And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line. The 21 yards there as they convert on 3rd. That's what we're used to seeing from him right there. Plays like that, why he's number 4 in the league in terms of receiving yardage.
Able to make adjustments all along the way. It doesn't matter where he lines up, where he releases from. Working his way into the secondary, figures out defenses and finds weak spots in order to get open.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. Well, you got a young quarterback. You know, maybe that's just an example of a growing pain for him.
I think you're right about that, because when the game starts to move fast and it moves quickly on him, a lot of times they fall back on what they know best, their arm. He's slinging it on this one. Had a wide open target, but didn't have the proper footwork to increase his accuracy.
2nd down, a little more productive than first. 7 yards on the gain. It gets him to 3rd and 3 now. They're going to look to throw. Got a man, it's Light. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. Kendall Wright is up. Back to throw now in his own end zone. Going deep for Diggs. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down. Those passes out that far wide always make you hold your breath a little bit. Felt like it was in the air for a while.
What it does is allows a defender to gain some ground, come from a long distance, and have a chance to affect the pass.
They'll throw again from their own end zone. And this one taken in on the right sideline, but not in the field of play. They say it's incomplete. The throw led him a little too far. It brings up 3rd down.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the 2nd quarter. A lot of time to change. And now out comes Minnesota. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
On play action, they'll throw. On the crossing route, complete. That's right. A gain of 32 that time.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play. They picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
Ohio! Ohio! Flex round! Flex round! Flex round! Flex round! Ohio! Ohio! Flex round! Flex round! Ohio! Ohio!
Whip. Watch the whip.
Back to throw now on first down. He's going to let this one go deep. And that will be incomplete with a clock showing 18 seconds now to go. This secondary has been roasted in this first half, but they get a measure of revenge there. Nice play on the deep ball.
Yeah, they're going to need a few more plays like that in order to get their confidence fully back, but that's one step in the proper direction.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. Buying time to his left. Lets it fly for Thielen. And at the 7-yard line, the catch is made. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. They've made goal line offense a priority on the practice field this week. This is exactly the situation they've been prepping for. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. And that will be incomplete. 4 ticks left here on the clock. Kevin King, the former Washington. Out come the Vikings. They'll have it first on offense as we begin the third. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically, what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team. We're just starting the second half, and we've got the football. Let's go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll take it from there.
See how that recipe works. They'll set up to throw. Trying to lay one up deep. Oh, he had 6 points in his hands there. Couldn't hang on. 2nd down.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. Back to throw. Left side caught by Diggs. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. That goes for a gain of 31. And at this stage, down in the second half, looks like they just wanted to find a way to get it in the hands of their playmaker, and they did.
I think you're exactly right. I don't think the coordinator's looking at his play sheet and trying to figure out which play will work well. He's trying to figure out how to get the ball to the playmaker that you just described. Looking down at that sheet, you find people plays, not necessarily X's and O's, and that's exactly what they did there.
Now a throw to the end zone on first down, but it winds up incomplete. So they'll come up after the incompletion for 2nd down. Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. And he's going to be taken down here. A sack back at the 32.
Enough takes a start to have a good drive. Quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
No, now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Oh, he got position on him, and he pulls it in. And a nice gain of 21 yards. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on 3rd down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a first down.
Now, here's a look for the end zone, but that one's going to wind up incomplete.
Well, this at least is the right idea. I think they've got to get the tight end more involved.
He had just one target in the first half, incomplete. Now incomplete here with the first target of the second half.
Yeah, should not stop them at all from going back to him. They'll find him. Find him.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10.
Ohio! 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 Ohio!
47's the mic. 47's the mic.
Flex round! Flex round!
They'll drop the throw. And Rudolph has got it. The big tight end for a Viking touchdown. Kyle Rudolph with touchdown number 7. Here's Cook as they begin on the ground. And not a whole lot doing there as he'll get it up to about the 28-yard line. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. It's complete to Diggs. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. A really nice gain of 25 yards. And with that last play, he's now up over that 300-yard mark.
And in today's NFL, it almost feels routine. And I hate that when you talk about a 300-yard passing game. To me, 300 yards still signifies excellence, and he's achieved that in this performance.
And this one hauled in by Rudolph. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
That first down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7.
Flex round! Flex round!
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. Escapes the sack. Oh, he's got some breathing room. And he'll go down here at the 35-yard line. A good decision in the end to pull it and run, gets him 9 yards and a first.
And we have to give credit to him for buying time and extending the play. But, you know, there's some really upset defenders on that one. They thought that they had him. Instead, he was coated in Teflon and got away.
They'll look to throw now on first down. Wide open receiver complete. And he gets this one all the way down inside the 15. A good pickup there at 22.
Brandon, so many times we see the crossing route start as a quick hitter, but in this play, he had time in the pocket and waited for him to clear going across.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. And incomplete, he dropped it in the end zone.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you'd better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
Yeah, when that field shrinks with those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up taking up extra space just because there's not enough space for receivers to run through.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10.
Here we go! Ohio! Ohio! 190! Hut! Hut!
Now back to throw. That is caught inside the 5. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down. The Vikings on 3rd down. They've been good, 3 for 4 thus far. Here it's 3rd and 3.
Ohio! 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 Hut!
He'll look to throw. Flush to his right. And eventually taken down here. Great coverage downfield. Nick Perry. The Vikings offense now heading out to take over. They're holding on right now to that slim advantage in a one-score game. And you hear a lot about 2-minute offense and 4-minute offense. Obviously, the 4-minute offense applies here. How do they run that effectively?
They know what the 4-minute offense is just trying to grind the clock. So you want consistent gains, steady gains. Doesn't have to be big plays, but it has to be plays that gets first downs and keeps the ball away from your opponent.
But certainly throwing the ball is in the mix here.
It certainly is. Just make sure that you're careful with it. And again, get those first downs, keep possession of the football.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. And he goes down. It's a sack. They get him back at his own 3-yard line. Clay Matthews in there for the sack, and he's closing in on that all-time record. That's number 19 on the year. Possibly a turning point. Big play coming. This is 3rd and long.
Flex round! Flex round!
He'll drop to throw. And he is going to go down for the 5th time tonight, and this one is going to be a safety. And now out comes Minnesota. And the last time they had the football, they surrendered 2 points on the safety. And they don't want to do that one again.
No, not at all. It's almost like
under pressure, and they got to him again.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Well, they don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. Dancing to his left. And he's got room. And he'll get it up here this time to the 21. He'll end up getting 5 out of that, but now they're looking at 3rd down. Time for a break. We're back to see what happens after this. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. They face a critical 3rd down now, needing a score here in the late going. They'll look to throw. He's got him in. Complete. And he'll be brought down, but a tip of the cap on the spin move as that gives him a 1st down. They give him a gain of 37.
Now you're right on the edge of field goal range. You've still got time, but get up to the line of scrimmage and get set.
He's back to throw. And Diggs has it. And he gets this one all the way down inside the 15. He got 29 yards that time. Back to throw. 11 more yards that go around. A 1st down as well. 1st down now, but that clock rolling. He'll look to throw, and it's caught. It's a touchdown. So they rally here in the final minute. Now a first throw here in overtime. And he's got his favorite target yet again. It's complete. And he's brought down after a good gain. 23 yards on the play.
Ohio! Ohio! Ohio!
Now a play fake here on 1st down. Oh, he's got him in wide open, complete. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. A gain of 32 that time.
Not only have they completed a couple on this drive, but they peeled off some pretty good chunks of yardage, too.
Absolutely. Great start. 2 nice plays in the pass game. Now can they continue to feed off that? So into Packer territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 24. Looking to throw. His throw caught right around the 6. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Partner, a great game that we got to see and making it extra special. Not only did I get 4 quarters with you in this one, I got some overtime, a little whipped cream on top.
Look at you, trying to make this whole thing palatable.
I just want you to pay for my meal later.
You really just wanted 4 quarters what you wanted. But how much fun was that? We had that type of a game where we got us to overtime, and then we get the dramatic ending to finish things off as well. What a game.
So for Minnesota, they keep pace in the playoff race as they move to 8-3 on the year. And they will hit the road next week for a date with the New England Patriots. Meanwhile, for Green Bay, their luck may have run out as they fall to 4-7 now on the year. And they'll be at home next week for a date with the Arizona Cardinals. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports.